The Underground, World News Live, here on the September 18th, 2024. Let me get a mic check in the house, some feedback. Welcome to the show. Pure Bloods for life, that's right. Exclusive over here on YouTube, Crown Jewels. Much love, my brother. I just seen what you sent over, fresh music. Man, brother, I'm so busy. It sounds great, as always, though. Hoodie Ross in the building. Baltimore, Deanne, E. Fitz, thank you for the feedback. God bless. Right back at you guys. Hope all is well. Meat Puppet in the house. The Judge. Ray, Tooch. Good to see you. Jay. Much love, Tacos, Kev Bar, everybody that shares the stream. Appreciate it more than you know. And got a lot to talk about, as you can see in the title. I can only squeeze so much in a title, but we've always got plenty to cover. No lack of that here tonight. So, I'm going to start off here real quick with the normal updates. Going to start off up here with a few lighter stories, and then we're just going to dive into some hard stuff, and it's pretty much going to be some hard-hitting stuff from there. Majority of the stream. Just got so much going on. Quantum in the house, and welcome to the Underground. Yes, and much love to all my KY cats out there as well. I see it's growing. Much love to everybody out there. Real quick here, though, just jump up to space. I want folks to know that the all clear has been given in terms of the magnetic storm that just came through. Maybe some of you guys got to witness this partial eclipse that took place last night. Partial eclipse of the harvest moon. It's always pretty cool to watch some of these events, in my opinion. It's always good to get out and experience one or two of them if you've never seen anything like it. A blood moon is typically when you have that eclipse and it turns the bloody color. This didn't get totally eclipsed out, but it was enough to, I guess, for some people to see a partial. So I didn't get a chance to see much of anything. Had cloudy skies. But I hope you guys got to at least get a peek at it. All right, and I want to throw this out there because, there's so much talk all the time, and our life is getting shaped around the policies connected to all this climate stuff. And I've put out the pictures and the images and the memes before about we are the carbon that they want to reduce. So this new study has just been published. It's gaining a lot of traction here. This report, Copernicus report, out of the European Commission, it found that the global average temperature had reached a record high in the past 12 months, an increase of 1.51. But they say using satellite data, this Roy Spencer and John Christie of the University of Alabama, Huntsville, determined that the average temperature in August was 0.88 degrees higher than the 30-year average. So fast forward to the big important part of this. They're admitting that what we're facing today wasn't what we are experiencing 30, 40 years ago. It's a different world. But they go on to say that arguing that the tiny increases of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is causing global warming and that we must stop burning fossil fuel to avoid climate change is completely wrong. So this is a huge study, a huge announcement here coming from them, and they lay it out a different way, basically saying that the Earth operates, and you can't change the way that the Earth operates, that it brings in sunlight, this plasma energy known as sunlight, short wave, from the sun, and then it emits this long wave energy in the form of thermal energy out into space as it's released. Almost like something steaming off or something like that. But so what they're saying here is that is the driver. Sunlight and clouds is the driver of the climate. And I'm going to say that, look, that's not too shocking to me, because it was just the other day that I was just trying to explain to someone that when it comes to the weather and a lot of things, even fires, they will get kicked up by the sun. The sun is a driver of wind. It is a driver of all that. It will push it. So the atmosphere starts to heat up. Things start to get compressed and move. And that's just how you'll find your windiest part of the day, usually during the day. And these are facts that you can look up, and it's not nothing new. But I think they're really putting this out there to try to put a dent in this whole thing, that they're trying to attack CO2 on all these different levels, like, the cows, us. When it was just a stream or two ago, I showed how the rich out there on their jets, they're emitting more CO2 and more pollution than like entire towns, small towns and neighborhoods. These rich people are zipping around on their jets, are dumping that much. It's crazy. Sharp boat, thank you. Appreciate that. All right, gonna keep it pushing here. I want to get to some of the bigger stuff. Here's one on the sudden infant death syndrome. Have to throw this out there because I'm sure someone out there has dealt with this, knows friends or family that has dealt with this, and it can be heartbreaking and leave people with a lot of unanswered questions. Because when this happens, it's really a sudden, unexplained death that takes place, and they're saying that now they believe that they can identify 14 metabolites or markers that will help show if someone is going to develop this, and they can do this right when they're born. So they're saying that it's at least a little bit of help in this field to help mitigate what's going on. They still don't have answers for it, but all right, let's jump into some job numbers real quick. Companies are ghosting job applicants. We've never seen it like this before, but it's happening en masse, and it's happening right in the middle of the hiring process. And a huge wave just began. And they're saying it's because the Biden administration just got caught lying. And I showed you guys this. They got caught lying about the jobs. Some 818,000 jobs was lied about. And it's just crazy to watch Kamala go around promising anything, promising that they're going to do anything. She's going to do anything when she's in office right now. Like, literally, anything that she says, oh, we're going to do this, we can do that, well, you should be doing it now. And all these things they're promising, they're not doing. They're not doing it now, or they would be promising that they would be doing it. Okay, so this is ridiculous with her. We'll get to more of that here in a minute, but I told you that these strikes are staged, they're planned. We've seen a bunch of them here this past year, and here we got another big one. And we got the UAW workers blaming Biden and Harris in their EV mandates for all these job losses. And, well, they're putting the blame where it deserves to go. That's for sure, because they've wiped out jobs en masse. We've never seen nothing like this. In the past decade, we've never seen nothing like this, what's going on. In terms of the jobs coming in, this is where we've shown you proof of the Great Replacement. You can hear some people talking over there having coffee about the Great Replacement and be thinking it's conspiracy theory. But no, this is factual. We've got the evidence, we've got the numbers. It's all out in the open now. And as I've shown on several streams, the jobs have been decimated, but in terms of the new jobs have consisted of majority part-time jobs, a lot of the full-time jobs getting wiped out. But an overwhelming majority of all the new jobs are going to illegal migrants, or these migrants coming in through their program. Because at this point, they're throwing an umbrella over them. I hope you guys see this. Any migrants that are getting caught up in anything, they're just giving them a pass. It's so dangerous what's happening here right now. It's setting the stage for something explosive to pop off. Here, anytime they need a crisis before election time, I'm warning you. And the hourglass has been flipped. The sand is running out. And I don't know, man. This place is going to an area that's not good. Either way, either path, it seems. This one says grocery rationing within 4 years. Well, very possible. On the way that we're heading, if Kamala gets in there, it will be accelerated. Everything is going to crash. I'm going to tell you day one if she gets in there. The moment it's announced, if that's the case, markets will crash en masse. They will. They will crash. Maybe other things will spike, but I'm telling you, it's going to crash out. And it's going to crash out because of common sense. She has come out and stated this absurd tax plan to go after capital gains, to raise it, and then unrealized gains, to tax them. Stuff that people have not even realized as a profit yet. That, as everyone in the industry says, will absolutely destroy everything. And you can expect people to dump. And what have we seen here recently? Some of the biggest, richest men on the planet involved in the stock market dumping what they've been holding for years, their prized stocks. And they're not rebuying, they're going into cash. And then from cash, I feel they're buying gold. Because we're seeing exuberant amounts of buying in that department. It's not just from the central banks. The central banks are not just doing it in the open, they're hiding it. As we showed on the last stream, Saudi Arabia just got busted trying to hide, buying tons and tons and tons of gold. It is the real money. When this dollar comes crashing down along with everything else, it's going to be too late. When people try to get their hands on anything like this, it's going to be all gone. What's going to be left is going to be in the form of jewelry and things like that, and with gold. Silver's a different story. You can get it out of the fine china out there, but even that's going to go rather quickly as soon as this thing breaks down. You're going to want to know somebody that smelts and all that. I've warned you about this moment for a long, long time. I spent since they locked us down, I've spent every moment of my life getting ready for this. I hope you have been. And that's no joke. Becky, thank you for the coffees. Hey, appreciate it to the fullest. Much love, God bless. Right back at you. That is the best way to support the stream. I want to thank anyone that also shares the stream. It's appreciated. I would start this next spring, and maybe you could start along with me. If you ain't got nothing going, I'm going to start something fresh, a fresh gardening plot, and probably with the greenhouse as well, with some things, and just going to go through the journey. And anyone else out there that wants to get something growing, I figure if you make it like a group thing, kind of get some people up off their tail, get involved, it's only going to benefit you in the end if you simply get some potatoes going for the season or anything like that. Anything that can get you through a harsh winter. I feel we're going to run into one at some point. I'm praying that this one's not going to be one. Really, it all depends on where you're at out there, but food's not going to get cheaper. Matter of fact, it's going to go through the roof. And we already know the OJ is at a high. We already know that meat is at a high. One crisis or one type of event, one waking up one day and them saying bird flu is the new thing, it's over. These things that are already high are going to go parabolic, and they're going to disappear quick. It's just not good in that sense. Best way to mitigate that is to grow. I myself could not grow a whole lot this year, I'll admit it, because I was doing other things. I was was building and doing all types of other things, and really wasn't in one spot to keep up with it. But come spring, I should be, and yeah, I'll be in a better position to grow, and hopefully some of you can grow out there with me. That's the whole point, is to get people growing and breaking away from the grocery store, right? Bobby, thank you for that super chat. Appreciate it to the fullest. Hope all is well. Much love. Keep it pushing. Again, got some big stories to talk about here tonight. Getting ready to get into the big stuff. Trying to get through some of these smaller ones. And I just wanted to mention this before when I talked about the currencies. I told you about the British pound being around for a long time, even though it got toppled by the dollar. It's been around since the year 800. So just remember that. It's been around a long time and still in use today. All right. Now, let's dive into some of the bigger stuff. I'm going to start off here with an update. Some updates. And this one is to a rather big story that's been going on here in Kentucky. Any of you guys out there in Kentucky listening, this is good news in a sense here that it looks like the threat in terms of a shooter, active shooter potential, is over with this one Joseph Couch. Now, I will say we don't have a DNA confirmation yet, although authorities are on the scene right now and getting the remains of a body that they discovered off the exit in the same area where the shooting took place. And I got to give a shout out to Hatfield and McCoy Museum on YouTube. That was live streaming, out there searching. This two people, this dude and his old lady, live here on YouTube. And they were just going through the woods in this region, and they caught a smell of like a dead body. Like they could smell it. They look up and they seen the vultures and everything going around and around and around. And he stops and he looks and he's like, is that thing just, is it picking up something and flying off with it? They get closer and they find the body. By the end of their stream, they end the stream, you could see the legs of the guy, and the rest of the body's pretty much gone at this point. So he'd been there for a minute, it looks like, and the buzzards picked him apart, or was picking him apart. In the process, it was disgusting. I'm not going to share any of that. I'll save you all that. I have to do all the dirty work and go watch and verify all the stuff, which I already did. Let me tell you, it wasn't pretty. Soul Foundry, thank you. And happy birthday. Much love, positive energy back, and thank you for the coffee. Much love, God bless, my brother. Good to see you, Steve. This is a plus. People that were locking the doors, freaking out, thinking that, this killer was on the loose out there. It looks like he potentially here took his own life, which was, they were hinting at that right at the gate, that this is probably going to be the outcome. It just kind of blows my mind that helicopters, drones, high technology, police, Doesnt, all kinds of groups scouring this area missed this guy because he was right there in the vicinity. Right there in the vicinity. Sometimes you got to watch these things, man. The whole buzzard thing, it was key. And I tell you, you just got to pay attention and be keen to your surroundings. Again, props to them for the find. They are the heroes in this. Oh, and it was even being reported that sheriffs discovered the body. They, and you could see it in the footage. There's no sheriffs there. There's no one around. They discovered the body. They get full recognition for this one. It was some YouTubers that did it, made the discovery, and turned the cops onto it. And you could see it in the footage. Again, I seen somebody put their name there in the chat. But it reminds me of over this past summer, there was a dog missing on a mountain. And it was the buzzards that caught my attention. They were circling an area on the mountainside. And I just so happened to like, man, I got to go look. And I go and I look. And there's a dog stuck on a ledge, jumping, trying to get out for its life. And they knew it. And they were circling him. So, and we saved him at that point. But these, you got to watch things like this, man. It's a telltale sign that something's dead, right? He was wanted dead or alive. Yeah, so, I mean, we'll get more information in the coming days. Hopefully a confirmation on the DNA sometime in the next 24 hours. This doesn't take away from the fact that we had separate shooters and shooting events along the highway around the same time, which is all suspect to me, that all these things happen in the same window. It almost seemed staged or crafted, manufactured in some way. But dead men tell no tales. We won't hear anything from this Mr. Couch ever again, it seems. But it looks like the threat is over. And I just want folks out there, especially those listening, because I know some of you listening were close to this. It looks to be over. So follow my Twitter or my X for more confirmations throughout the day tomorrow and all that. But hopefully we don't have to see anything else like this again. Now, I will point out real quick before I close this down, I just want to zoom in here and show everybody here on the screen why this is possible. So possible. You see this up here? You see this where the highway is going through? Right here? You see this? There is a lot of that in Kentucky because it's so hilly. It's hilly and mountainous. And I mean, it's just what you got to do. You got to blast to the mountains. But there's a lot of this. It's not like super high. It's like someone can sit right up on this ledge like he did and shoot down like he did and cause a lot of chaos. And that's how it happened. But it didn't end well for him, did it? No. All right, well, here's another death to report on. A billionaire investor found dead in a Washington lake. And some of these things, they could seem like, I don't know. I mention them because you never know what's going to come of it. Who it's connected to. Things like that. But divers discovered a billionaire Daniel Rayner's body in Trout Lake, which is located on his own private property in Washington State. Authorities received a call that he went missing on the 30th, and they launched this search, and the cadaver dogs traced his whereabouts to this lake. They sent divers in, and they found his lifeless body 200 feet deep in the lake. So the sheriff there is saying that they assume all deaths are suspicious unless evidence shows otherwise. Right there's the house, I guess, and he had the private lake right there. That's a nice place. This is a billionaire. But he's dead. So when it comes to guys of this magnitude that end up at the bottom of a lake, sometimes you gotta wonder. Sometimes you got to wonder. So I just wanted to mention it in case we start to get any other information. If I get any updates as to anything else connected, I'll keep you guys posted. All right. Mr. Harvey Weinstein. I'm going to get to P. Diddy next, right after this. But Harvey Weinstein, He pleads guilty, or not guilty. Guilty. Might as well, right? He pleads not guilty to these new sex charges. And the way the game goes, if you're not hip to it by now, it's one big club, as they call it. We ain't in it. These guys are. They're groomed a certain way. And it's one big cult, pretty much. And it is part of the dark occult in terms of dark magic, witchcraft, and all this. It's not just the sexual stuff. It's a ton of sacrifice. A ton of it. Of sacrifice. People's lives lost, mostly children that have been trafficked and all this other stuff. But your mainstream that is controlled by your government makes sure not to talk on this narrative ever. They make sure not to ever pick it up and throw it in the mix when they talk about any of these people. Okay? Any of them. So, Weinstein, major player in the game. You can even find Big Mike giving him props and video clips. They're all part of the same club. What happened, though, is it seems Weinstein wanted out. And he pissed off some of the major players, including the Obamas. And they pulled his card. Now, you can either be a player in the game or you can get played by the game. As they say out here, it's a wicked game and there's rules to the game. This all ties back to Epstein and how he ran things. You're going to see. I put out an image tonight. I tweeted it, put it out on Instagram all over the place. It was an AI image, and it was a mix between Epstein and P. Diddy. It was a good one. But it all ties back to here, all right? It all circles back. When we talk about all these guys, it's one big club, all right? That club got Epstein. Right? Now they got Diddy in jail. They got Weinstein in jail. Look, if you pay your dues, if you do something and you pay your dues, you make a sacrifice. Literally, a sacrifice. Somebody gets killed or enough money in the game. You can walk free. And it's a wicked game here. They extort people in Hollywood. They are called Hollywood whackers. I know this. I've been pulled into it. I was called in to help. Some years ago. It's a whole different story. But it's very real. Right? So they blackmail each other. All right. Long story short, they blackmail each other. They bring everyone in. They film it. They have these sexual orgies and all that, which is on the surface. But the dark side is the sacrifices that are made. This is where they're getting their adrenochrome. It's a sick, nasty process. You wonder why some of these goons out here, like 80, 90, still looking like they in their 40s, 50s, whatever. Dolly Parton or any of these other goons out there, like they're sipping that adrenochrome. But if they're not, they go to hell real quick. So once they get tied into this deep, especially the older they get, the conscience starts to hit them. Like, you know, when you start to get near the end, you either start to realize all the things that you did bad and that you're doing bad, and you start to have regret and guilt and all these other things, and you want out. Or you want more. You're knee deep in it, and you want to look younger and younger and younger and younger every day, so you'll do whatever it takes for the adrenochrome. You just don't care. You see, there's different ways they could take care. But if you want out, you're not getting out. They pull your card. They pull your card, and before you can talk or spill the beans or try to write a book or do any of this other crap, they take you down. They pull your card. They hit you with all these sex crimes. They did it to Bill Cosby, remember? But isn't Bill Cosby free? Cosby family made that sacrifice. I'm telling you. Coughed up a lot of that Cosby money is what they did. If not, he's free for now. But as soon as you get to this point, you can see they do this a lot. It seems like guys went out the game. And they're like, not so fast. You done sold your soul to me. And this is how it's going down. So Harvey, he's going to keep getting, he's 72 years old. He was a powerhouse in this. And they took him down. Just goes to show any one of their members that they build up, they can tear down in a moment's notice. Okay? He is going to be tied into this thing deeper than you know when it all comes back to it. Because he was like the big dog for quite some time, all throughout the movie industry. Now, this is the movie industry when you're talking about Weinstein. When you get into the music industry, enter Puff Daddy. They took it to a whole nother level, which is where we're going to go right now. This also involves Suge Knight. This rabbit hole runs deep. This involves the feds. This involves all kinds of different agencies. Murders out the wahoo like you could never believe. Sacrificial murders. Occult murders tied into this. And he was taught this. He was taught this. He was groomed this way. P. Diddy was. And you're going to see now, and it's about to come out in court, a lot of the people that groomed him, his handlers, are about to get exposed. I've been telling you about this forever. Of course, you know, a while back when I mentioned these things, somebody would be like, who? Oh, he's a rapper? Who likes rap? And they get caught up in that crap. This has nothing to do with this rap. This has to do with the huge mogul out there, powerful individual that was controlling sex rings and all this other stuff, abusing people. It's nothing to do with just rap music. People that just write stuff off so quick are just stupid. This runs deep into the satanic realm and exposes it. It exposes the people in it, the connections from the music industry into Hollywood, from Hollywood into the political realm, and then from there all the way up into the highest echelons of these rich people out here that control the whole game. And some that thought they were going to get away with this are not. I'm going to tell you, Jimmy Iovine. They're going to get you before it's all said and done, son. You and you crooks, they're behind the murders of Pac and Big. In the end, I've been on this for a long time. They're the masterminds that helped set the whole thing up. And then the feds cover up. Well, our guys got assassinated. Sure did. Play off some East Coast, West Coast beef. P. Diddy was in on this. And to this day, they're trying to tout it out there that P. Diddy wrote some $1 million check and gave it to a guy named Von Zip that was supposed to have paid off Keefy D. And then Keefy D and them ones that did the hit on Tupac and Vegas and all this. It's a bunch of open-ended garbage. They were sacrificial murders done just like JFK by the beast that did it. Make no excuses about it. Most people don't have the kahunas to say that or put the blame where it needs to be. But that's who did it. Dude, we've gone down every rabbit hole. We know who kills them all. This is why we say Illuminati on this beast. Right? Anyhow, in this game, how it works is like this. Not just the political realm, but the music industry, Hollywood. You get initiated at a late age in life. It's purely on blackmail. If you come in as a child star, you know, Justin Timberlake's, Britney's, you've seen them all. You know, they're all part of the club from a young age. Christina Aguilera out there with her schlong hanging off of her, supporting all that stuff. They're all pushing the movement of the beast. And they were born into this. As kids, they were brought into this. So that's what I consider MK Ultra. When you're brought into a program at such a young age, you don't know the difference, and it's really not fair. But they're utilized to the fullest, and you can see that every day. I watched a video before I went live tonight, and it was just P. Diddy sitting in front of something with the kid on his lap, and he's naming out a name of all these people. And I'm going to tell you, it's his list. That's even what it was called, P. Diddy's list. He names Oprah. He starts off with Drake. I mean, he goes on and on. Justin Bieber. He names all these people. Usher. Guys he groomed. Guys he sexually abused. I'm telling you. He names them all. And he just names all these names for no reason. Just read them off. Just naming them all off. He done did it. He done put them all out there. Every freaking one of them. And these Diddy events are what they call freak-offs, okay? He went pretty deep. Now, they haven't even started to get this elaborate with what Epstein was doing. Yeah, you knew Epstein had clients, and I've got an update on that as well next. Diddy went like super hard overboard. Like when they did raids on him, they found like 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Like they were like, this is crazy. Even had his son involved with this with him. Okay? So, he would film all this, and he's got everybody by the you-know-whats. Literally. He's got them. So he thought, this is just like Epstein, can't you see? You know how many people he's got blackmailed from these freak-offs? The biggest stars, the biggest names you could think of out there. He named them. He was literally naming them. You know what? I got a clip right here that says it all. How about old Ashton Kutcher? Let's save the kids. Garbage. They're all in this club. Same ones that are probably sitting there knifing them are the ones out here trying to take it out here trying to save them. It's pathetic. Pisses me off. All right, I'm going to play this right here. Get it lined up so you can hear old Ashton Kutcher get put on the spot. And you can see he squirms in what he does. Let's watch.
Diddy party stories, they're our favorite genre of anecdote. If you
really?
have one, yeah.
Wow. Okay, I've got a lot. I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them. Feel like
Well, we still have some time to go. You know, I can blow it here.
Okay. Feel free. Diddy party stories, man. That was like some weird memory lane. Ugh.
Diddy party stories, they're our favorite.
Did you see that? Did you see that expression? First off, did you hear his response? He couldn't speak on it. He can't speak on it. Multiple times. I can't speak on that. I can't speak on that one either. And he's like, I got all these shuffling through my head. Ah, really? Guess what, Ashton? You're done. You're on the new Epstein list. Forget it. Forget flight logs or any of that. Let's just take it from your own mouth. They were going through your head. Let's listen.
Diddy party stories, they're our favorite genre of anecdote. If you
really?
have one, yeah.
Wow. Okay, I've got a lot. I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them. Feel like
He's cycling through them. So in a court of law, I want to ask Ashton, all right, to cycle through them, there had to have been at least 3 or more times that you've been there. And I'm telling you now, these idiots, they're so brazen and think that they can get away with this. They talk like this, but it's stuff like this that's going to come back to haunt them from out the shadows. Do you understand? For all the babies and all the souls these people have killed and murdered in silence behind the curtain. I'm telling you now, this runs deep, man. Ashton, all of them, they're just one little part. But I wanted to play that so you could see that there's a lot of the people just like Ashton that are shaking in their boots right now. So word is tonight that P. Diddy is in a New York jail, a federal jail, and he has been being charged with racketeering and sex trafficking among, it's his racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. So they raided his homes in Miami and Los Angeles already. They went to get him. He turned himself in. And now his lawyer's saying that it is horrific in terms of the conditions in the New York jail and that he should not be held there. He's been denied bail because they think he'll threaten people or tamper with evidence. They're kidnapping, arson, bribery, forced labor. All these things are being thrown in there. And, man, all these names start to pop up. Usher, Prince Harry, Nicki Minaj, all the people that ran with him. I showed you a few streams ago. There's one where the rapper Game was sitting there laughing. He was getting interviewed by that Fed dude, that fake DJ dude, whatever his name is, that does Fed, basically sets them all up. He basically admitted to him. He's like, oh, yeah, he did the same thing as Ashton. He's like, I can't tell you, but I used to go to all kinds of wild-ass Diddy parties. He goes, I used to stay with Diddy and, like, go on the road with him. And, like, we'd wake up every day and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, dude, you see, again, you talk too much. You, again, Game, are going to be pulled into a courtroom and questioned the same way. So what all did you see at these freak-offs? Any underage individuals there? Like this is going to go deep, man. It's going to go deep. Like, so many people are done hung out to dry off their own video statements. It's insane. You don't need a list. They've listed themselves. All these people that brag throughout the years that they were at Diddy freak-off parties. It's on video all over the place. So amongst the people tied up into this is Aaron Hall, an R&B singer who was part of the group Guy. He was named as the defendant in the complaint filed against Combs last November. A plaintiff in this accuses Combs and Hall of sexually assaulting her in a friend's apartment. So, him and other people being accused here. Okay, then you have Harvey Pierre. He was in all the shows. He was named as a defendant in 2 lawsuits as well, filed anonymously. Jane Doe's putting in this. They're saying that when they were a bad boy here, that basically he was using his position to groom, exploit, and sexually assault individuals. So this was an ongoing theme. Actor Cuba Gooding Jr. drawn right on up to the top, dialed in right on in him. A complaint filed this year in New York says that Rodney Jones, which is a music producer who goes by Little Rod, he lists that Cuba Gooding Jr. tried sexual assaulting him and sexual harassment. And I'm just going to go down the list here. This is a big one. Universal Music Group CEO. Ha ha ha. Lucian Grange. This is huge. Because I watched a clip of Gene Deal. Gene Deal's the bodyguard that's all over videos on YouTube talking about all the stuff with P. Diddy, because he was the main bodyguard all those years at Bad Boy. He saw all the stuff. He's a former cop. He's spilling all the stuff. He's saying all these things. He even predicted that Diddy was going to go down right now, and he did. He makes great points. Diddy learned this stuff. This was a learned behavior. All the things he was taught. All these sexual freak-offs, they were taught to him by older men. He specifically names Russell Simmons And Clive Davis is being the fruity old guys that taught P. Diddy all this butt play and to get away with it. And he's seen them getting away with it. So he did what he's done this whole time. Treated people how he's treated. The video clips of him throwing Cassie to the ground and kicking her and all this crazy stuff. He thought, since he was in the club and these guys did it to him, and he was doing it to others, and it was all okay, and he knew all these powerful people, that he would get away with it. Here it comes down. And unlike with Epstein, which was all just like placed on Epstein, we've got big names and faces right out the gate. Right out the gate. So this is one of the biggest, man. The CEO of Universal, are you kidding me? It's about time they took it right to the top. Okay? Because this guy was a part of all of it. Every bit of it. All these criminals. They thought they were going to have their cake and eat it too. They thought they were going to get these billions committing their crimes. His son, there's P. Diddy's son. He had his own son in these freak-offs with him. Sick SOB. Rapper Young Miami. She was like prostituting and bringing what they call pink cocaine in on a private jet. These designer drugs that they were using. And they were hitting these people with these drugs that would put them in a comatose. Why? They just did whatever they wanted to them sexually. So this is why this is all coming out. They're basically raping people right there. That's what all these people are saying. Basically, they were knocked out. They were put out on these drugs and then raped. And dude, he's going down for this. And here we go. Here we go. Thought you were going to escape all this, didn't you, Jimmy? Well, here's a Jimmy joke that you might not like. He is responsible for all of it. You want to know the man that primed Dr. Dre, the whole freaking music industry, Suge Knight? Because Suge Knight operated the same way. Let me remind you, Suge Knight, there's even video out there of it. He filmed all of the big meetings and sexual encounters the same way. The exact same way. And one night, the video camcorder out of the limousine got stolen. It came up missing. The dude that was left in there to watch it had a homeless person in there with him. They were smoking and all this stuff, and he stole it. And on it was proof that all these powerful people were in sexual relations. It was blackmail. And Suge Knight flipped out. Him and Death Row came back, stormed the place, threatened to kill everybody. And same thing. Same exact thing. They would blackmail everybody through and through. So, this whole game is ran by the Baphomet. That's right. The evil of evils. They worship it. Tupac's bodyguard, Frank Alexander, before he too got killed, said that Suge Knight gets paid by the Baphomet. He's one of the very few that ever had the kahunas to say it live. He might have paid the price right there for that. He said he don't get paid by no one else than the Baphomet. This is dark occult. Tupac was a sacrifice. Biggie was a sacrifice. And it was these guys right here, Jimmy Iovine, and all the guys, Lucian Grange, Russell Simmons, Clive Davis, that made it all happen. These are the people, I'm telling you, that orchestrated the deaths of Tupac and Biggie. I'm telling you. The same hand, the same club, I'm telling you. They are the ones. They are the ones that profited off of it all in the end. Oh, yes, they are. Oh, yes, they are. The highest big dogs, the CEOs of the record company, of dead men. Do you know what Jimmy Iovine, the first words he said to Suge Knight after Tupac died? You hit jackpot. Nothing sells like a dead man. It's coming back to get you, son. All of them going to get it. Every one of them. And this is just the beginning. All this stuff. You wait until this ties into the murders and it all comes out in the wash. It all will. One day. It was nothing other than this hand that did it. They'll hang all these guys out to dry before the federales take a hit. Before anyone in the ranks of the feds get a hit. Notice there's not a single one of the feds listed or named or mentioned in none of this, ever. They make sure it's squeaky clean and they're all out of it, pulled out of it. But you can be a music mogul, a billionaire, rapper, whoever. You're all fair game in the club. But you notice the feds they're never caught up in this. None of their men are never shown. But they'll hang out the closest thing to them, which are these men. That's how deep this is going. They went to the CEO of Universal Music Group. Are you kidding me? And Jimmy Iovine. They ran the whole damn game. They thought they were going to slide out of the way here. Their money will probably buy them some time and get some of them out of jail. I don't know. I don't know how they escape it. All these guys. It was passed down like gatekeepers. Shook and Puffy were. You know this. And everybody down below it. Usher was brought up underneath Puffy. This video where he said, we used to wake up together in the mornings and have cereal. And they look at each other. It was like, oh, crap. We said too much on video. Oh, yeah, you sure did. He sure did. Same thing with Justin Bieber. Used, abused, and groomed by Pete Diddy. That's right. And they've got him blackmailed, you betcha. See, Justin Bieber, though, got that injection, and it messed him up. And ever since then, he's been pissed, and it seems butthurt and hell-bent on, who knows? Maybe he'll take the stand on Diddy. Burn him. This is going to get interesting, man. This is going to get real interesting here, man. I'm just getting started. Just getting started with the rape, the prostitution, and the drugs. Haven't even got into any of the murders. So, Quincy Jones, there you go. You know, right there, all these moguls. Quincy Jones with the Tupac and said, I want to do you in your rear. This is facts. Tupac said, hell no, I do not get down like that. And guess what? Tupac was set to marry his daughter. Soon as Tupac denied there, they say he was marked for death in the club. Amongst other reasons, his voice was becoming so powerful and they didn't like it. They had to silence him. And they played it all for the East Coast, West Coast. That's a whole other story and rabbit hole, but boy, oh boy. Let me tell you, this whole thing with P. Diddy is just getting started. So many people are going to sink on this ship like the Titanic. I'm telling you. And wow. Wow. We're just going to sit back and see. Let's turn the page. Ghislaine Maxwell. Her conviction upheld by a second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. A woman that has been convicted. It's been upheld now on charges, and not a single person has been named of who she supplied prostitutes to. Which is insane. How are you going to send somebody and sentence somebody to time saying that they supply prostitutes to people, but not name a single person they supplied them to? You keep the name secret. Hello. The whole dang court system's doing it. All the way up to the second U.S. Circuit Court system, our whole system. It's all corrupt. They're keeping it all a secret. They don't dare want none of it out. Yeah, but guess what she says? It's about to come out in her autobiography. I don't think so. I don't think so. She is going to get the same fate as him here very soon, or they're simply just going to shut it down and not publish it, and you're never going to see it. Of course, everything she wants to tell the world right now, she can't. She's putting in this book. And you know they're going to censor it or silence her through and through. She could just flat out say, this is it. This is who's behind it all. Right here. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Front to back. Lay it all out. She could. She can be. Yeah, she's like, you know, they say in prison when someone's walking, they say, dead man. Dead man walking. Yeah. It's just a crazy situation for her to be in, man. Someone like her is very valuable. Very, 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 very valuable. You want her alive. It all cost. It all cost. The day comes in a righteous courtroom where you can hang all these dudes like we're seeing with P. Diddy, the CEOs of all these places. You want someone to put them all away. There's your huckleberry. Yeah. Well, I'm going to keep this moving. And I'll update, as always, with more on that as I get it. Let's jump into the Elon Brazil thing, because it has ramifications for really the whole world, I feel, what's happening here, where this is going. I told you before, Elon gets blocked. The highest court in the land of Brazil says, you're out of here, we're shutting you down. The politics have gone that far, left, right. Elon beams in from space and says, I gotcha. And really, it was a checkmate. It was an instant checkmate. It was instant. And they were like, it was almost like unfair. Like, they're like, no, you got to play by the rules. So he was like, all right, I'll take it back. You know. Showed the whole world, though, he can beam in anywhere on the planet. So he took it back. So he goes back down to the ground, and they're like, okay, we're going to reroute, and we're going to stick it to him a different way. We're going to come in from ground level, and we're going to change our IP in the way that we go in through the API. And they changed their own IP, which says Twitter network, which they were blocking. And this is kind of genius here, okay? They switched it, not just to any old server network, but they switched it to Cloudflare in their reverse proxy, okay? Now, what does this mean? Well, this is interesting. In order for the government to block them now, they would have to take out all of Cloudflare, which would mean blocking most of all of Brazil's websites that they rely on for all their services, including banks, governments. And they're letting us know, they're letting anyone paying attention know right now, that if you take down Cloudflare, you take down everything. Same thing could happen here. Any moment. They just showed you this, if you have the eyes to see. So, X changes their IP into Cloudflare and dares them to try to block the Cloudflare. So, it's circumventing them by doing this. And the only way is to take out Cloudflare, which it will in turn take out everything. This is crazy. Talk about a checkmate. The only other way is to like go in manually, like with a gun to their head, to Cloudflare themselves, which it's not even Brazilian based, which they're gonna have a hard time doing, and tell them to do this or that. So this is dude, this is it's like, it's kind of comical because he's getting them. World stage or not, left, right or not, like, they want to clamp down and like silence and censor everything. And he's like, no, I don't think so. Well, I'll beam in from space. And they're like, better not. You know, better yet, we'll just come in from the ground and show you we can get you from wherever. And he did. We got you checked from space. We got you checked from the ground. What you gonna do? That's what he's done. It's an insane move, man. It's an insane move. I expect some huge retaliation. You gotta understand, he has shown his flag. He's jumped on board with Trump. This whole side joined the fight. Is expected to enter this advisory role of something if Trump gets elected to oversee all this certain crap. Like, he has positioned himself on a political side. Is the thing here, and it's made him a target. When you've got a bunch of global leaders like this goon down in Brazil that are they're totalitarian in mindset. That's how they are. It's establishment control mindset, dictatorship type mindset, communist type mindset, and it's what we don't want or have in this country. That's why we're supposed to be a republic. You want to call it democracy, whatever. Here we're supposed to be free and stand for that. Well, how the people of Brazil, I will give them this. They did come out in one of the biggest protests we've ever seen in recent history around Bolsonaro. A free speech protest, but what is that going to get you? It didn't remove this goon from power. He isn't resigning. You're going to have to use tactics, man. So I'm just telling you right there. Remember these tactics, because they're going to be used in other places, and it could well be used here one day. They want to block X here because the Harris regime wants to go, and he don't warn this. Matter of fact, Elon did warn this. He says if they get in, we're done. They're coming after us. You just imagine if they go after Americans right here on Twitter to try to silence you en masse. Will the people do anything? Will they get up? Will a fraction of the people show up like they did down there in Brazil? But to find out, America's getting made look weak, and it's pathetic. With no one doing anything and just rolling over, getting ran up in by invaders, no one doing anything to stop it. No one that took an oath to serve and protect. It's like everyone's got the excuse, I got to get my paycheck. I got to feed my family. So what? You got to take criminal orders? There's a line in the sand, and you should know it. And sometimes it's hard, but dang it, people got to know it. And the excuses are about to be over with. We're heading into uncharted territory here, man, where I think it's going to get very bad here very quick. I think we're already seeing it. All right, let's just dive into all the politics here. It's obvious that the left is the establishment and the right is what they want to say is the free people. That's how they're playing this whole thing. Trump represents the leader of all that on the right, and they want to call you far right if you believe in anything counter-establishment. Just doesn't matter. Well, the unions are mostly left-leaning. Teamsters are set up and designed, a large part across the country, union-based, is on a protocol designed that the federal government runs everything on. And these things can get nasty and bad. But long story short, again, here is the Teamsters endorse a president every year. And they've been endorsing like Biden in the establishment. Well, oddly enough, they run a poll through their people, their workers. And a majority, 58%, back Trump versus 31% for Harris. And instead of backing Trump like they should have righteously done, because you do what your people will vote for, you know, you represent your people, right? Your people represent you. Well, not with them. They say, well, we're not picking no one then. And they're just not doing anything. And that's childish. It's garbage. It shows the bias very clearly that it's controlled. And if they can't pick their establishment left-leaning Democratic pick, they're just not. And this is kind of like throwing it in the face of all their workers. Like, screw all of you. Like, we're just not picking no one. And that's just, man, that's just ridiculous. That's like the emperor having a temper tantrum or something there. Like, it's stupid. Anyhow, it just shows you where we're at. So let's look at some more polls. And I tell you all the time, these polls are absolutely ridiculous. You get shills out here like piece of work, Jack Posobiec. Like, look at this Gallup poll. You should believe in it. Not questioning it at all. Saying that Trump's at 46 and Harris is at 44. And then not calling out the obvious. And then not calling out who controls all this. If you don't know what Jack Posobiec is, you need to do your research too. In his bio on Twitter, it used to say, and I got screenshots of it somewhere. I don't know if it still does. It probably still does. It says what he is. And thank you, Hopkinson. Ain't seen a minute. Much love. It says he is a shill. A government-paid shill. No, it doesn't say that, but it does. Let me decipher. It says he is an information warfare specialist. That is a shill for the United States Navy. And he didn't hide it. I'll give him that. He took the approach of not keeping it hidden because I think he knew he wasn't going to last if he tried to hide any of it. If he tried to hide who and what he was. So he just put it open, and he's some big Trump supporter. He jumped on the big Trump bandwagon, and they pushed him as a shill over there, and he blew up his page and his channels the same way a bunch of the other shills did, riding the Trump train. So the PISO over there, Jack, won't tell you that, which you should, but you'll never get it out of someone that's a PSYOP expert for our government. He is literally that by definition. It's pathetic. Anyone even follows anything that they say. They go on to say, if you look at the real numbers in a real poll, Kamala's polling numbers in a real poll, not Reuters, not none of this establishment control crap, her numbers are more like 10%. 10%. That's how bad she's getting smashed and smoked. When she went on this debate and she lied, bald-faced, that there were no wars going on, no active duty troops in any place on the planet, I think everybody turned around and looked at somebody else like, are you kidding me? Like, there's a clip out there of troops that were watching this. It's priceless. They were watching this debate, filming it. And they turn around the camera and look at each other at the exact moment when she says this, like, they're like, what the effer? You kidding me? Where are we at then? Where are we at? They are out there with their life on the line in another country, and she's a liar. It's bold-faced as a liar as it gets. Much love, Pixie. I mean, that was just, that when you start to see these things, it's like, and them dare come out of there and say Trump lost the debate or anything like that. It's just like, where did he ever lose the debate, first off? And like, it's like, he didn't have to really do anything. Like, the after effects of her lies have done so much damage and caught so much attention that, look, even David Muir, the guy that helped rig it, the establishment pick dude that was up on stage, the moderator, one moderator was her sister at college, which is a setup. And the David Muir establishment pick, well, his numbers have tanked. They've dropped 12% since this because people are pissed. They're like, dude, we know that you're rigging this. Like, at least give us a fair and balanced something. At least make it look like it, right? Like, if you're going to try to fool us. Like, don't try to fool us and get caught. Like, because that's what they've done. Here's another one. The man that predicted that Biden's going to drop out and also that Trump was going to win the 2016 election. It says that if Kamala gets in there, expect what they're calling the Kamala crash. Should have put that in the title, the Kamala crash, because you're going to hear me reference this from here on out, at least till she's out the picture, or until it happens. And I'm telling you, it's going to happen day one. It's about to happen. You're not going to get out of this year. If November, whatever, 7th, the morning is that they announce whoever's president after tallying votes, if they say it's her, that day, it crashes. You mark my words. It's done. It's baked into the whole thing. Too many people see it and are calling it. Billionaires are dumping off the top, for crying out loud. I told you, you better not get caught in your 401k because they're about to try and steal it. The Kamala crash, that is it. The markets crash. What makes a market crash? Markets crash when the rich men sell. And they take profits and leave you holding the bag. That's how it works. That's what's going to happen. And it's going to happen either way. It's just going to be an accelerated event on Kamala's watch, is what they're saying. That if they install her, it's going to happen instantly. It's going to be pure chaos right out the gate. Pure chaos. If Trump gets in, it's going to be a little delayed. But what you're going to see is you're going to see all the stuff that Biden and them have had propping this whole thing up. It's going to wear off right when Trump gets in. And it's going to collapse on him. I told you this. That was my soul and my gut opinion. Right at the gate. It's what hit me. It's what I seen, what I saw. And I was just like, yeah, I agree. I feel that way. Like that's, and it's one of these two. I mean, we're about to get one of the two and the outcome ain't good. So it's like, all right, you're going to go ignore this? I would get all my stuff out of the 401k and all this other stuff ASAP and make the right moves. Man, I've been saying this forever. John Boy, much love. Give me liberty or give me death. Thank you. Salutes. That's right. Much love. God bless. I appreciate the love, man. So, I just want to play this quick fake Kamala thing real quick. Show you how fake she is.
I love you back.
That's her trying to talk in a fake Hispanic voice. I've caught her trying to speak country, trying to speak ghetto, all this stuff. And now this.
I love you back.
Oh, it's so pathetic. It's so embarrassing. Yeah, and we thought that Biden was bad. Super cringe. Super cringe. So, all right, let's jump into some things that happened today. Trump going to this rally on Long Island. This whole thing was wrong. Right when I heard about it, did not even 2 seconds worth of research that anyone could have done. I just Googled it. And I've seen the headlines. I opened up a couple and I read them. And it said right there, the update from the police that just went and searched this vehicle said that there was no explosives. I get over to Twitter, and I go and I look and I find out all these shills are running with third assassination attempt all over the place. And you wonder how things get blown out of proportion so quick. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, these are the same people that were saying shots intended for Trump the other day when there was not even a shot fired at him. It's pathetic. Sick of seeing it, man. It's the same fools. I called them out today. They got made look like fools today, big time. Because of simply not doing what they're supposed to do, which is at least a couple minutes worth of research and get a confirmation of something. Couldn't even get a confirmation from the police that there was explosives in a vehicle before they tried to say they were trying to kill Trump. It was just, it's pathetic, man. Like it's sickening. It is a psyop. everything. It's all psyop. So, it's a good question. There was no explosives. Canine unit, or the police basically say someone was like trying to train a dog to sniff for explosives in the area. Thank you for the coffees, Adam. Pure bloods to the end, my friend. Thank you for the coffees, man. Much love. I don't know. Look, it's one thing to be wrong. Everybody makes mistakes. I get that. But this is more than that. This isn't that. I've been doing this a long time, man. This is manufactured. It's manufactured disinformation that I keep seeing get spewed out there. And man, it's manufactured all right. Someone's got their hand on it. And they're doing it quick with all these events that pop up. And, I mean, we got to call it for what it is. You know? So, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't think that this is over. At this rate, as quick as they are to jump on stuff like this and just say, oh, they tried to assassinate Trump, man, we could see one a week leading up to, who knows, it may not even end if he even gets in there. I'm really leaning toward him getting in there. I told you before, I think you meat puppet for the coffees. That's right, it's going to make 29 look bad. Pure bloods, baby. Either way, again, I just go back to the same thing. It doesn't matter who they give you. We're about to see an economic crash. I'd be planning for it. And there could be a certain thing that makes it happen, a certain type of event. Wait till I get to the end of this. I've got the main dude, the Secret Service, trying to drop hints that something huge is about to happen. A coming event. That's why I got it in the title. A coming geopolitical event that he hints at. Okay. Here's an odd one. We have reports that 20 supporters, 20 different Trump supporters, most of them Latin American supporters, Latinos for Trump, that were seated behind Trump in Arizona, are rushed to the hospital, all with the same symptoms, with blurry vision and eyes burning. The doctors and hospitals are saying, look, it looks like we think you guys got like a chemical burn in your eyes. It must look like they've been maced or something crazy like that. Well, that's a bunch of people. A whole bunch of them. And the symptoms have lasted for days and days, and some of them not got better. So the question is, what just happened in Arizona to all these people that were sitting near Trump? I mean, this deserves a thorough investigation. But with so much crap and staged and manipulated, manufactured garbage, it's going to be hard to get to the bottom of this. And Lori, thank you for the coffees. Man, you know, I've got one person that is always, I've never had someone that has ever gave me a reoccurring donation, ever. Except for one person on my PayPal for $3. Every month, one person named Lori, you remind me of that, has always gave me that. So a thank you through and through. The balloons from Jacob's dream. I don't know what could have caused this, man. It's very odd. There could be something sinister behind it, and they could come out in the coming days and be like, someone released something, but it didn't work. It was meant for Trump, and it missed him. The wind blew it, and the wind blew it over onto this crowd. I mean, something happened. They got hit with something. It got on them somehow. Aerosol looks to be the way here. In close proximity to Trump. So again, very interesting, weird event. You know, at that rally. And then here at this rally today, they try to say explosives. It was at a rally he was out where he was shot at. I mean, dude, I mean, maybe we should just start watching every day where he's going, because it's almost like check the rooftops, check everywhere. All right, I hate to even play this clip of Hillary, but man, she crawled out of a hole somewhere, and she's trying to say that everyday Americans out there need to be thrown in jail for disinformation and propaganda and all the Russia crap. And as we've seen before, all the Russia stuff was valid. It was a lie, all manipulation. But, Trump said she was Hillary for president years and years ago. Whatever happened to that?
And boosting Trump back in 2016. But I also think there are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda. And whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrence, because
see, going after everyday Americans to charge them. That's what Hillary thinks. It's thought crime, man, out of the movies. Thought crime. It's Orwellian, man. I got to play this clip right here. This is of Cuomo, basically getting red pilled. He's basically, I don't know what's going on. We seen Zuckerberg bow down and apologize to Trump and start kissing butt and all this, and it's like, hold on, just another reason I think he's going to become president again. And now the same thing here. Chris Cuomo, former CNN anchor, does the same thing, trying to save face and say I'm sorry and defend Trump. And it's like, hold on, when you get this many people, or do they know, do they see the writing on the wall that even if they do put him in jail or try to put him in jail or anything crazy, that Trump's going to be the one to get in there? I said it before. There's a litmus test right here to find out who's going to be president. And you can find it out rather quickly if you really want to know. Find out how deep Kamala's blood runs. Because if she's not related to all the former presidents, she will not be your next president. All the rest were connected by blood, even Biden. And Trump is, we know. Kamala and her Indian bloodline, I'm not so sure, are connected. And that would rule her out instantly, and you'd know right now who's going to be the next one. God bless Maverick. Thank you for the coffees. God bless. I mean, that's a simple way to do it.
About Trump, he does not have many more full-throated critics of what he says and does than me. Okay? And yet I called him today because I am ashamed of how we are responding and not responding to the threats on him. And I feel for his family. And I know you can roll your eyes and say, oh yeah, he asked for it. Listen, that's your choice, and I think it's a wrong choice, okay? We got to get out of the judgment business unless it's judging ourselves, and you got to start rewarding things that are better. And I got to tell you, I don't know how he stays in the race. I don't know how he got up after being shot in the head, and you people who try to mitigate that, you need to check yourself. He gets up, pumping his fist, stays in the race, barely even talks about it. Now, look, I do believe he has wasted opportunities, and he has another one now. Who better than Trump to say, we can do better? I can do better. I know he keeps doubling down on his angry rhetoric. How can he not? It keeps working for him. I don't know that it gets him elected. My theory is that he needs to expand. He had a chance to do it after he was the target of an assassination at the RNC. He had a chance to say, I know what got me here. It's not going to get me where I want us to be. He did not take that chance. He now has another chance. Oh, you're supporting Trump. I'm supporting us. The idea that I am a Trump supporter is laughable to the man on your screen right now. That is not what this is. I am worried about us. I am ashamed of what's happening around us right now and the relative lack of concern about it.
So whether, I'm not going to play the whole thing, whether he's genuine, acting, playing it out, whatever there. Yeah, he looks weird though. Is it a deep fake? That was said to be him. That he talked to Trump and he feels this way. And I got to say, thank you, Marsha, for the coffees. Thank you, Deanne, for the coffees. And no worries on the email. That's not on you. I know I went off on on shills spreading stuff out there, but that's not on you and sharing a link. That was directed at the shills at the top that were driving it. And not calling it for what it is. But I thank you. Thank you all for your information. If you got anything you want to get to me, also dabu7@yahoo.com is the email. Or tag me in the chat while we're live. I'll try to respond. You can also hit me up on X as well. Probably the best way to try to get a hold of me there. But, yeah, just I'm going to keep it pushing here. Still got quite a few things to cover. Martin Armstrong saying that, and I think, look, Martin, if you don't know his history, this guy's been in jail himself for all types of stuff, but he has made some incredible market predictions, economy predictions, and he's, I think he's pretty honest in his opinions and his assessments. He says he believes that they're about to put us into a war. And right here, it says it again. The computer programs show that Kamala's real approval rating is around 10%. He says the whole thing's falling apart around the whole Kamala thing, and that the neocons, and stop and think about this for a second. Stop and think about everything they've got going on in Ukraine, all the war, all the money they've spent there, everything that the war machine has been pushing this whole time. And Trump, the last time, didn't have any big wars or anything going, right? That was something he brags about. He didn't have no major wars, wasn't have to start any new stuff. Well, he's warning that they're about to spark something that he can't avoid. Meaning that if they spark a war with like Iran or something major, and we're in it, that we're in it. You can't just back out. They're about to dig us in deep into something. And this is kind of scary, man. All the options they got here. Thank you, Silver Rambler. I think it's a high probability that they do something. That way, if Trump is in there, they know Trump's going to get in. They know he's got 4 years to do whatever. They've already put it in writing. The Biden administration, they've tried to. They tried to make it law to where stuff they've put in writing, Trump can't undo, or the next president can't undo when they get in there. Well, we'll see about that. See if Trump tries to override any of that stuff or what. I mean, criminal's criminal. He says he's going to try to end the war. But I'm going to tell you this. If they start something with Iran, Trump will go all in. He is all in for Israel. That is Israel's #1 end game, last boss man, arch enemy on this world stage, the way it's been set up, is Iran. And if they get us into a deep war with Iran and they hand it off to him, I told you before, they'll collapse this whole thing on him. They'll bring the whole house down on Trump. I don't know. Interesting times, but he's got a valid point to where he thinks that they're going to cause something before this whole thing even goes into motion. So, hey, we're on the clock. This one kind of says the same thing, or it reminds me of kind of the same thing. It says, what happens here when all these things that the Biden administration has propped up start to erode? Like all the fakeness. What happens when it disappears? Just like the jobs numbers they were lying about the whole time. All right? We just seen the real deal. They were lying huge. Okay? What about the illegals coming across and all this that they're lying about? They try to say, oh, it was only this amount. Then we turn around and we find out, again, huge numbers coming across. They're lying about everything. What happens when everything that they're trying to keep propped up because their administration has to leave? It all falls down. It'll all come down on Trump and his watch. You see how many times this keeps popping up, this reoccurring theme? It's coming down. And Kamala's either going to be the accelerated rate, like it's going to happen that day, it's going to start that day, or it's a little bit slower, I guess, on Trump. Because I believe the market could initially spike, if Trump gets in there. The opposite effect. But it's not going to last long when they plan to dump it on him. Now, here's another one. We'll keep it pushing. We have suspicious packages containing white powder sent to election officials in 15 different states. Reminds me of years ago, everything that was going on with anthrax, all the scares, all the crap there, more staged crap. Yeah. As soon as I get a confirmation on what that powder is, throw that into the mix now. Now, all of a sudden, white powder packages getting sent all over the place. All right, James O'Keefe and Company, dropping some more big-time revelations. They find a connection and show that both men involved in both Trump events, assassination attempts, if you will, both identified as ActBlue donors. ActBlue backing the Democrats financially and all that. Just another connection out there to who's behind all this. All right, let's shift gears. Israel, Lebanon. Huge deal right now. To bring you up to speed, this all started with a wave the other day of pagers blowing up all across Lebanon. You'd never seen anything like it. Like thousands of people maimed and injured, a bunch killed. And it seemed to be a strategic attack where someone got their hands on all these pagers and manipulated them to where they could explode when hit with the signal. And they did this in mass. They're blaming it on Israel, although they have not claimed responsibility publicly. They're putting it on the Mossad. And they're saying that one of two things have happened here. That either all these devices were intercepted and something was put in them which allowed them to detonate later, like some kind of tannerite or powder or some kind of explosive material that just put a trigger in it, that all you have to do is heat it up and it'll blow up. High vibration will heat something up, just like they did with the pagers. You send a dozen pages to all these pagers, it's going to blow them up. And that was exactly what they did. This was a huge operation. And now a second and potentially third wave has hit, where in the second wave, it looks like walkie-talkies were targeted, handheld communication devices, but it goes even further. They're saying that laptops are blowing up, other phones are blowing up, that solar panels on people's homes are blowing up. Like, hold up a second, dude. Like, this is taking it, like, to a whole nother level. Home solar systems exploding, buildings on fire, apartments, all types of stuff, because everything is exploding. Dude, this is more than someone putting a little bit of an explosive something, and this is crazy. And this is showing us that any and everything we've got out here is susceptible. If your home solar stuff's getting blown up, I mean, someone would have to have been intercepting everything that comes in here for the past years and slipping explosives into them into a strategic way, not caring who gets them, not caring if civilians get it and all this, because beforehand, I seen a lot of people out there in the military and all that on X, law enforcement saying, well, I can accept them blowing people up with the pager thing, but, not knowing about the whole civilian thing is getting crazy. Well, yeah, don't you think? Well, what do you say now? Now that everyday phones, walkie-talkies, solar systems, laptops, hold on, man. This is what they call terror. This is the definition of it. And it's just begun. At the same moment, Israel launches a northern offensive, a war front, going into Lebanon. I warned you about this last week. It looked like they were posturing for it. And they did. Didn't know this was going to happen. But who's seen all the paragliders coming in and doing all that stuff either? They're coming out of left field with some stuff. So we got to pay attention. We got to look at what they're doing. I mean, they're showing us that all devices can get you killed. Your cell phone can get you killed. Your fancy little earbuds that you're putting in can get your head blown off. What happens when they target iPhones like this? What if they already are? Is it a malware? Or someone slipping tannerite type explosives into these devices, which this large scale, this many types of things all over the city, all over the place. If they can get away with this, they could be anywhere. Any moment you piss them off, they're going to start blowing everything up. They just showed us what they're capable of doing. I told you they are of the nastiest in the way that they operate. They care not. It's why they're in the seat that they're in right now here globally. They've killed everybody to get there. Here you go. Just wait, I guess, till it starts happening here. I mean, we're not anywhere in a position where this can't happen to us. Coffee. I'm just saying, man, this ain't good. This can happen at any moment, in any major city, any place on the planet. It just so happened here and other places. It wasn't just like one little spot. It was all over the place. This was large scale. I'm telling you, this is creepy, man. Home solar systems exploding. Are you kidding me? Everyday walkie-talkies. I'm telling you, man. What happens, man, when iPhones start blowing up? It's over. Yeah, them little earbuds, any of that stuff, it's over. Once it begins, it's over. This was simultaneous. People just driving down the street, people walking their dogs. A kid could have someone's pager in their hand. They did, matter of fact. It didn't matter. That's how heinous this was. These are what are considered to be war crimes. Operating in this manner. This is probably also why Israel isn't openly claiming any of this. They're just launching an offensive right on the heels of it. Like, they're sending in a whole squad, like hundreds of troops behind this. Hundreds. So you don't think they did it, huh? You don't think they had anything to do with it, huh? They're just sending in all the troops, special squadrons right behind it. It's nuts. So when you try to figure out how this was pulled off, there is a when you look at the pagers, now we know it's more than the pagers, right? And I believe this company. Because they came right out trying to say, dude, this was not us. This Taiwanese pager manufacturer called Gold Apollo, okay? They're at the center of this exploding pager incident, okay? Because obviously they make them. But the shift in blame is getting put on this Budapest-based BAC Consulting. Because they're saying that BAC entirely handled the AR-924 pager manufacturing process. Saying that this had to be done in the manufacturing process. Hold up again. Stop. Dude, I think this is about to be one of the biggest stories ever. And everyone's sleeping on it. Hold on. You're trying to say that this was done in the manufacturing process. Well, we now know that this extends out beyond your little company. You're talking all of every device that just blew up today. And we're going to find out in the coming days. I told you, the solar panels. This was all made by different companies in different buildings, in different places. Yeah. How was it slipped into all these places, dude? You know how massive of an operation that is. And how could it just been those places targeted, if that's the case? I mean, a lot of questions. If this was not done remotely by malware, which is scary in itself, the only way it could have been done is if someone physically in the manufacturing process or somewhere got their hands and tampered with all this stuff, did this. I have a funny feeling in the coming days and weeks we're going to get more information on this and how this was done. And when it's revealed, it's going to show something very scary that we talked about here first tonight and exposed and blew wide open. That this goes far and wide, and that if they can target any electronic and blow you up with it, we've entered a whole new realm, dude. A whole new realm where the lethal weapon that it's going to take your life potentially, and you're carrying in your pocket, or your kids talking on, or they don't care. They showed us here today, the Mossad, that they don't care who it is. They will blow you all apart. It's insane, man. It's insane. This is as terror as it gets. You see who's rolled it out. These companies involved are already trying to cover their tail. Like, they're getting caught off guard. They're like, hold up, we make these pagers, yeah, but we didn't lace them with all this crap. So company after company is going to say this, I'm telling you. Somewhere along the lines, we're going to find out what happened here, I'm telling you. So we already got BAC on the chopping block. And we're going to see what other connections we come across here in the coming days. All right, now, let's move into the Ukraine-Russia war fronts, because some of the biggest things to happen yet just happened. We talk about all the stuff on the stream and still haven't even got to some of the biggest stuff here. The stuff that could literally lead us into World War III going down. So, the NATO chief welcomes all allies approving attacks on Russia, and this shows that they want it full-blown. He welcomes it. He says the moment they independently make this, it will do it. But then he goes on to say, oddly, he goes so far, we haven't seen any changes in their nuclear posture that require any changes from our side. An ominous statement, okay, for what just happened. And we'll play this clip. This is crazy. I put a video out on this on my YouTube channel. A mushroom cloud is triggered when they strike a Russian weapons depot inside of Russia. This is deep in Russia. It wasn't with the missile, it was with the drone. So now the question remains, does it even matter? Long-range missile, does it even matter? If they can do this with just the drones, doesn't matter. And I think that this changes everything.
О, смотри, 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 идет сюда. Офигеть, сейчас. Вот, видели эту волну? Просто жесть. А как светло было, вообще капец. Так, ну я думаю, что пора, парни, блядь.
And this is some of the after effects. All the fires. I mean, it looks like a hellscape for real here. In this clip right here.
Ой, дом наш стоит. Все, Олег, нормально, дом стоит. Вон, я вижу его. Вон, видишь?
А, дом жив еще?
Да, да. Пока, да. Это вот, слушай, там вот что вот это вот?
Арсенал. Ебать. Наделали дело, бля.
Look at that. You don't think Russia ain't ready to strike this country? You don't think Russia isn't ready to get us back? This was massive. I have been waiting for this moment, in warning of this moment, for a long time. This is what tells me we're there. This is it. This is I've told you. The Chinese even told us. I put a video out on it. I talked about it today in the video that I put out. If you guys missed it, and here, let me see if I can just pull up the, because it shows the Chinese rover pic in the image right here, right there. You see this? If you missed this video on my main channel, you can check it out, Dabu77. A decade ago, I first put a, gosh, this is crazy. Time's flying by so fast. A decade ago, I covered this. And I warned. And I had other cats zoom in. I got 2 videos on this. One from a couple years ago and one from 10 years ago. It's got like 500,000 views. Where I zoom in and I show, you can see the waterway on the rover pic. Because in the rover pic, you can see the whole planet. And this is off in the background. Almost just, almost can't even notice it. But I did. And it's a mushroom cloud coming off of this area of the planet. And guess where it's coming from? Exactly the same region that it just happened. All we knew is it's in the vicinity between Ukraine, Kiev, and Moscow, in Russia. And that's exactly where this just happened. This may be the literal, physical, spiritual, symbolic beginning of World War III. Because the response that comes after this from Russia, dude, they could put our lights out. Everything we ever warned you about also. Everything I've told you to prepare for the past 10 years. They got a reason to do it at this point. Vladimir Putin just warned the other day, if they approve long-range anything, we're going to war, it changes everything, and you'd be a fool to think that we're not going to make moves. We just struck the biggest depot that they've got for weapons that's known Anything else would have to be secret. And I'll say that Russia was kind of stupid in the past few years and letting the public know they released it. They were building this depot, and there's public information out there. They began using it in 2018. And it uses all their main missiles, the brand new gliders, the hypersonics, all that. And some speculated when they saw this mushroom cloud today, they said, man, was there some nuclear, tactical nukes in there? For that big of for it to look like the hellscape I just showed you? They're like, dude, did they have tactical nukes stored in there? They might have. That's a wasteland. I can't believe that people were on the ground that close filming it. Yeah, dude, it's happened. It's happened. It has happened. It has freaking happened, dude. All the times, man, all these, oh my gosh. I'm at just one of those points. It's so surreal to me, man. I spend all this time warning of these things, and for them to actually, when they come to fruition like this, they happen like this, it's a crazy checkpoint in life, man. And it's an ominous warning to me that they did it for a reason, that this moment means something. It's a marker in time, dude. And it's happened. It just happened. The repercussions from here, I'm telling you, all the sheep in America, just wait till the lights go out. It's too late. The emergency radio is telling you the Russians did it. And I wouldn't doubt it if they pulled off some Red Dawn for theatrics, because the world is a stage. I'm not kidding you. Let me keep on showing you what's going on here. What is this? Mysterious radiation levels spike along Norway's border with Russia. Did they just test a nuke? It's a place that they call Putin's flying Chernobyl site for the nuclear missile. They think they just tested one. They have the radiation levels to prove it. So this isn't a good sign. This isn't a good sign. This is all the things that we keep our eyes peeled on that you don't want to see. When it spikes cesium-137 around a location like this, you know they've tested. They've blasted. This isn't Fukushima, a failed reactor. No, this is a test site. And this is what they're saying. So they are testing nukes right now. The radioactive spikes prove it. Also, FYI, in case anybody cares, wouldn't you know that this week Russia and China have crept up into our international waters? They're here. They are here. And for the first time ever, they have sent over 100 troops, more than they've ever done in a mission like this. The Pentagon took a rare step and deployed U.S. Army ground forces to an Alaskan island on fears that Russian and Chinese warships are coming closer to our shores. They sent 130 soldiers to these uninhabited remote islands in the Aleutian chain, following what? A series of Russian and Chinese military assets. Warships, submarines, everything being spotted right off the coast. Warplanes. Like all of it, the whole nine. Not just two doing a flyby. Not just that. Both countries armaded up, flexing with all kinds of stuff. Subs, you name it. They're right there. Okay? And what's crazy is they came into our space. They came on in. Yep. They knew they crossed the line. So they say that they're preparing to respond. They're sending people up here to this Shemya Island, 1,200 miles southwest of Anchorage. They're calling it a force projection operation that began on September 12th. So it's on. They're up there creeping. We're sending troops doing something we've never had to do before. All the incursions, all the flybys of Russia, all this throughout the years, out the window. This is brand new stuff. You could tell them by their fruits. You could see by their actions. Something's going down. So Russian and Chinese troops, it's not a conspiracy theory. They're here up right on the doorstep of Alaska. They're mounted up, and it's got our military nervous. So I'm telling you, man, stuff like this is what makes Red Dawn possible on its world stage. What does Putin go ahead and do? You better watch out. I'm telling you, when you see this many stories stacking up, something's happening. Putin orders a third troop expansion, making Russia's army the second largest after China's. You're talking, we are going to war with the biggest juggernaut that's ever been amassed out there in terms of troops. The numbers of troops that China possesses is insane, okay? And now Russia has pulled up at second place, the second largest after China's, and we got to face them both together? Dude, man. And they're both showing up at our shoreline in Alaska? Like, dude, nah, we just hit their weapon depot and mushroom clouded it. Mushroom clouded it. I feel like it's about to happen any moment. It could happen like tonight, tomorrow, any time. Everything's just going to go out. What's crazy is a ton of people are going to be in the dark out there with no communications. You're not going to know anything except for what's coming across the emergency radio or word of mouth on the streets. If this happens, they put us in the dark. If you're off grid though, I don't know, I've said this a million times, but honestly, if you know someone that's off grid, at least know someone that's got an off grid location that still has power, that has Starlink hookup, you'll have communications to the world. Even if most of the United States is out, I mean, you'll be able to communicate with people, at least emergency responders, even if no one's going to be able to get to you. You'll at least be able to tap in and see what the whole world's saying. You know? What's the headline saying across the world? Huh? Russia just EMP'd America, brings down the giant, and all this. That's what we're probably going to see. Because that's what's planned. China, Russia, the combo. Ain't no one out here speaking any world peace trying to bring this thing to an end. Dude, we're so close. We're so close. The only thing we're missing is us getting attacked, us getting hit. It's the only thing we're missing is for America to get hit in the homeland. That's it. In the meantime, the United States is arresting CCP-linked spies all throughout our government, through all the agencies, all over the place. So, I mean, I've talked about this every single time. I went through a whole list before. All these people. It continues to grow. It just shows that they've infiltrated everywhere. They're everywhere. Trojan horse. So, the U.S. and Japan are on a team. So, at the end of the last war, we had to nuke Japan to end the war. This time, Japan's with us. And they're coming together. They're saying nearing a breakthrough deal to restrict chip tech and any exports to China. So let me tell you, when they do this, and these tariffs go into place, and this world war breaks loose, it's going to be more than what you think. It's going to be economic war, and it's going to be designed to make we the people suffer. You're not going to be able to get stuff from overseas. It's already begun. The noose is going to tighten all the way. And for instance, if Trump gets in there, let's just play this out. I spend a lot of time doing this. Get these visions, and I play out these scenarios to see which one's the more realistic and what we're going to have to do to mitigate the damage and all these other things. But if Trump gets in there, what's the first thing he's saying he's going to do? It's just take it at face value. He's going to put tariffs on all these countries, even 100% tariffs on China and Russia, all this stuff, on every single item, absolutely everything. When he does this, my gosh, dude, the repercussions and the backlash is going to be, and you are not going to see nothing from these places. It is going to dry up. Solar panels, for instance, the prices have come down right this moment they have because there's been an influx in the market. But it's going to dry up, I'm warning you. When you can no longer get any out of China or any components for it any longer, it's game over. The price will reverse and will go through the roof. Same with anything if it's not being made here in America. It's going to open the door for some opportunity, though, here in America, for companies to jump up, I'm telling you, and fill the gap instead of just sit there and survive off the government's nipple. No, we need people to step up and fill these gaps when this happens, or we're going to go without. One way to mitigate the damage from our government has been to make stuff on their own, because what was happening is China had become the leader in all these chips. Now we've got a plant in Texas. We've got all this stuff happening here. We're working with Taiwan, Japan, to try to circumvent their control of all these chips. That way, if we do go to war, they can't just bring us to a complete standstill. At least we got chips we're making. We can pop it in all of our stuff. Everything is still work and function. And it's better we do it this way anyway, because we don't want to be using all types of stuff with Chinese chips. Are you kidding me? Look what we just witnessed today and yesterday. They just remotely detonated all these electronics on people they didn't like. Can you imagine if China decided to do that? The electronic kings of the world. If they had done the same thing and they decided to hit the trigger tonight and blow up microphones and laptops and speakers and earbuds and iPhones and everything you could think of. They could mass murder more people in history in one fall swoop than ever. See, a week ago, this would be a crazy conspiracy theory. But now, after the Mossad showed us it's possible on a large scale, day after day, boy, oh boy. I guess our government has a right to be scared big time of the drone threat from DJI. Because now that I think about it, they could detonate every single one of them at any moment, anywhere. They sure could. This is a problem. This is a huge problem that we've discovered. I'm telling you, we've crossed the Rubicon, man. We're seeing things we've never seen, and there's no going back. You have to prepare for the worst here. All right. We'll try to sum this up. Again, these streams been going long, man, to like 11:30. Or close. Let's look at the migrant situation here before we shut this down. Let's go to Springfield, where the whole thing with the cats and the dogs, they try to cover up, and the mainstream try to say, oh, everyone's lying and making up conspiracy theories. But yet when every person goes there with their phone and their camera and they go live and they start interviewing the people that live there, all the people that live there come out and say the same thing. And they show that the mainstream is lying en masse. It's the beautiful thing about people getting up and going out and doing this. And being their own journalists and getting the stuff. We need this. It's a beautiful thing because the people are screen capturing all these events, like the Trump shooter. They tried to nuke his Facebook and then even his Twitter. But people got it. People screenshotted it, recorded it because they're so used to, at this point, the theatrics and what happens. So at least people are waking up and they're playing their part. I salute all of you out there that do so. It's going to take all of us. In the meantime, we've seen a bunch of bomb threats hit Springfield and throughout Ohio here recently. They said 33 of them. There you go with their number. They all were hoaxes. Well, now at least 3 different grocery stores were evacuated in Springfield because of the same thing. 2 Walmarts and a Kroger closed and shut down because of the same thing. These threats. Bomb threats. Right there. So this is a widespread mass thing with these bomb threats. A very real thing here as it continues. Now it seems that these migrants are being shuttled in everywhere. On the last stream, I showed you that in terms of red cities and towns, the Biden administration has been caught by the numbers shipping these migrants into what they would call enemy territory, Trump territory, or everyday territory. You know, places that didn't have any issues, small towns across the country. They're going to send an influx of these migrants in and overwhelm you. That's what they're doing. That's what they've done. And they've been caught doing it, targeting red areas with these people. And all they got to do is say, all they're part of this program, so they're legal. Garbage. They're all illegal. They're all invaders, and they're being brought here through a treasonous process. It's ridiculous. But a small town in Alabama now, seeing these people getting dumped there. It's all over, man. It's everywhere. And they're being silenced. They're trying to tell people what's going on, but they're being silenced. They're like trying to go to their community meeting, their town hall meetings, to voice concern, and they're being silenced. In some instances, the town hall and their members, they're closing it down. They're scared. They don't want the people's voices to be heard. I can't even play some of these clips because it shows you proof that there's animals being cooked on barbecues. And it's happening. And trust me, again, like happened to watch the footage of the body earlier. Just, you don't have to go see it. Just take my word for it there on the gruesome stuff that, unfortunately, it's happening. It's happening in mass. And there's more people saying the same thing. They're stepping up in mass. And they're saying, look, our animals are missing. Here's another one and another one. They did kill my daughter's cat. They are doing these things. See, there's everyday people getting out there talking to everyday journalists now. The truth's coming out. They can't hide it like they want. They're trying, but it's being seen, and it's happening everywhere. If you see this start to happen in your neighborhood, you better have a plan. And this seems to be part of a network that they've busted here, that are coming in with vans, that are busing them in bringing them in vans. In this case, up in Springfield, there's a guy, a kingpin, that they call King George, that they say is behind this. He hands out cash, he lives in a mansion, drives luxury cars, and he is the one that owns all these vans. They're called Tens vans. He's hiring all the drivers, and they're Haitians that he's driving, or hiring to drive. It's insane. It's nuts. It's like he's pimping out all these Haitians, and it's known. And then there's Charleroi in Pennsylvania, this other town. They're saying the same thing's happening there. They're shuttling them in. They have these buses right here. I'll play this clip.
So the staffing company is what takes the migrants. So Haitian compound of all of the vans.
Yeah, there's multiple houses right here. This is like their lot for older.
So these are the vans that drive the Haitians to the meat factories.
Yeah, the packing factories.
To the packing factories.
Yeah.
Is this right here?
Just another carrier van for the immigrants to
the meat factories.
To the factories. Yep. The 3 factories.
How many vans do you think are in this town?
At first I thought there was maybe like 24. Then it just kept on growing and growing. They must have poured the mark on these vans.
And another one too.
Yeah, they must have poured the mark on these vans. Because
all of these take the Haitians to the meat factories.
Yep.
And this is the other location where
This is one of the other 2 that's up in this area. And so this has been here, but they were all using local labor, and now it's almost almost, it's probably over 90%, immigrant that they brought in.
So this goes to
There you go. This is the great replacement. Right in front of your face. The guy just said they're exposing it right here in Charleroi, Pennsylvania. Haitians being bussed in, vanned in. He just said they're being taken to these food factories where the companies are taking them in and hiring them because they can hire them on way cheaper than Americans. They're admitting this. They are admitting this. These companies need boycotted and shut down if that's the case. If they're going to cut our throats and take in these illegal workers, knowing what's going on. This isn't a secret. They know where they're coming from. It's the government bringing them in and paying them. It's absolutely treasonous is what this is. This shows you an estimated 90% of the workers in this town now are Haitians. 90%, dude. Just cut your people off. They just cut your American people off if you care. Your brothers and sisters that live in this town, they sure did. And they're doing this all over. This is treasonous. This is war. We are in a war. Snap out of it, people. Everyone's just looking for entertainment all the time. Expected Trump to save a day. You better wake up quick. We're in a war. We're being invaded. We have been. And I'm telling you, you ain't even seen the Chinese make a move yet. You've heard about this trend in Iraq when these gangs, and that they're supposed to be launching a gang war. It seems like the whole powder keg is about to blow. And there's a lot to it. It is the government facilitating all of it. It is this regime that's doing all of it. They're bringing them all here. And this isn't, this isn't a race thing. It's nothing against Haitians or Cubans or anything else. But from those places, they're going and getting these people and bringing them here. And this is a culture thing. I said it many times. I'll say it again. You have to assimilate. If you're coming to our country, you have to respect our way of living. That's simple. Just like if I tried to go to Jamaica, or if I tried to go to any other country or a Muslim country, I'd have to respect their way of living. Or, why even be there? Or you're going to have to deal with the repercussions. You come here, you treat our people with respect. You treat our women and children with respect, not like animals, not smacking them around, telling them to cover their face, do all this other crap. See, if they can't assimilate, it's a problem. If they can't assimilate, they should get rejected and kicked out of here instantly. Instantly. It should actually be part of the litmus test right out the gate to even get in here. But we know that that's a sham. This is catch and release. It's a huge program by this treasonous Biden regime, Kamala regime that's pushing this. Look, these Haitians are being used. Half of it's in innocence, okay? So all these migrants are. They're being told to seek a better life. Come on now. So they're coming here, and it's like a carrot on a stick. They're being told, do this, do this, do this, and we'll take care of you, which they are. Pay for your housing, pay for all this, and you'll be the new citizen. Come in and vote for us. You'll be the new citizen. You can replace these people that don't believe in you. These bad people, these bad Americans that don't believe in you. You see? The enemy, the replacement is here. Your replacement is here. This is the perfect example. When 90% of a town's workforce has become the Haitians like that quick, boom, dude, it's done. And no one's stepping up to do nothing. No one is doing, I salute anyone, no matter what you do. I don't care if they come after you. I don't care. Anyone that rises against the beast, I salute you to the end, my friend. People are going to have to stop getting scared. You have to listen what Jesus and Yeshua said in the Bible. Many times to have no fear, to fear not. And to also sell your garment and get a sword. I take his advice. Real quick.
Likewise, the small 4,000 person town of Charleroi, Pennsylvania. Have you heard of it? Charleroi. What a beautiful name.
I can't stand even listening to him. I'm going to go to the next one here.
You know, the sad part about all this thing, and honestly, I don't care. I'll shoot straight from the hip. Frankly, I wish I could come face to face for 60
Councilman.
seconds, okay, with whoever was behind all this and bringing the immigrants in to Charleroi for only one reason. Where the hell's the money to be coming to Charleroi? Okay, why was it all dumped on us and we're not being funded with anything? Okay, and again, we can't even meet ends meet with our budget. And so now, where are we going to get this extra revenue to pay for? You know, and then we've got to do all these things to accommodate the immigrants. That's bullshit.
That's the councilman from Charleroi. A councilman from there. Ticked off. At least he's saying it like it is. At least he's calling it out. How are we going to do this? How are we going to pay for this and that? Like, this influx of people. What are we going to do about all the rest? Like, man. Yeah, look to Germany. Look to France. Look to the UK. Look to what's happened there, man. It's what they want here. All brought to you by George Soros and company. And if you missed this last warning here about the Palestinian group and movement, I don't think that they've disappeared. We were wondering if they were going to cause chaos during the election. Well, there's now talk that the jihadists and all this are trying to co-opt people in this movement to bring down the United States. And they're openly calling for the total collapse of the United States. So this is a large spread, wide thing that they're pushing here. And they're using these movements on the ground to cause chaos. So if we start to see something happen in the coming weeks at some of these rallies or any events, don't be surprised if you see these people connected to these groups. This whole thing for Palestine is George Soros controlled. It's the same thing as the BLM, Black Lives Matter. They create these groups through their NGOs, and they fund it. They fund the chaos through them. We're hip to it. They cut them all checks. So all these people, all these young youth that are on the ground, all of them are getting paid. They're getting paid to cut a check. If they're busting, they're paid to cause chaos. They're also indoctrinated with the cause, so they put a lot of their heart and their energy into it, and they're just misguided. They're being controlled by the enemy. It sucks because if there was a righteous individual out here that had this much power, we could make so many moves. If you could reach the youth and fill them with the righteous stuff, like this, to this degree, to this amount, where you could bust them all in, oh, it'd be fabulous. But no, this is what we got to deal with. This is what the enemy's doing to us, and it's treasonous. And I'm going to remind you that George Soros lives right here in this country, in New York. If a judge would only put the warrant out for him in his treason, for hiring our own people to cause chaos, that right there in itself is treason. I got a warning from this Ohio sheriff that I want to play here real quick. Well, actually, first I want to point out that this guy right here, this Venezuelan, he ended up being a general, they said, that claimed that they were squatting and told everybody to come up here. Well, he's now jailed in Ohio and he's being deported or facing deportation. So get him out of here. Send him back. I don't want to see him back up in here ever again. Actually, I'm gonna skip playing this whole sheriff thing and just tell you what he says real quick. Preface this. I've played him before. This is the Butler County, Ohio sheriff that warned that something huge is about to happen. Well, he's basically back doing it again and saying, look, this is like we're there. Like, I warned you last time. It's already begun. It's begun. We're in it. And it's about to get 10 times worse. It's about to get 10 times worse. So he's saying, everyone get prepared. get prepared. You better be prepared to defend your own homes, your own communities. And do not be sitting there waiting, expecting law enforcement to show up to save the day, because they're not going to be there. They're going to be nowhere around. They're going to be busy dealing with saving their own families, their own neighborhoods. That's what's about to happen. He says these things. He said stuff like this before. I take him very serious. He's one of the very few true sheriffs I see out there in this country left that still, even though he makes these statements and he gets attacked, he still stands his ground and he stands for the people and he keeps speaking the truth and he's putting out warnings like others just are not doing. I'd heed the signs. Anyhow, I'm gonna leave us with a warning here tonight from the director of the Secret Service. He very quickly, and you may not even catch it if you don't pay attention, because the way he speaks, he's so forward with the speaking in an establishment, dude. He just slips it out there that if a coming geopolitical event was to happen, or some kind of other event was to happen, that all of our people are going to need the highest level of protection possible. All of our government agents, all of it. Just listen here. I'll get some final thoughts. Take us out of here.
But the long and short of it is this. Coming out of Butler, I have ordered a paradigm shift. The Secret Service's protective methodologies work, and they are sound. And we saw that yesterday. But the way we are positioned right now in this dynamic threat environment, it has given me guidance to say, you know what? We need to look at what our protective methodology is. We need to get out of a reactive model and get to a readiness model. There could be another geopolitical event that could put the United States into a kinetic conflict or some other issue that may result in additional responsibilities and protectees of the United States Secret Service. And so we are...
That's it. That's the main part right there. Other people were saying that, dude, he just dropped the closest thing of a hint that you're going to get from this guy or these guys ever. That something is about to happen. He just did it. He just did it. He just warned that something is about to happen. Some kind of geopolitical event or a kinetic warfare event where they have to protect all of our people and that they don't have enough hands on deck. That's the whole thing with Trump, that they don't have enough agents, they don't have enough hands on deck to keep them safe, that they need more money, need more agents, all this and that. He just said it. Okay? All the warnings, they're there, man. Top brass of the Secret Service now, floating one out there in front of everyone. That something is about to have a kinetic. I so feel like some kind of strike, some kind of huge... Dude, they may nuke a city, they may hit a city, tactical nuke a city. Could be New York City. It could be DC. It could be anything. Again, though, why do that when you could just EMP them one shot and you could take out every single city and bring this place to its knees? More chaos than you could ever imagine. Within 6 months, you could smell the bodies across the ocean. It'd be horrific. I just hope you have a plan, guys. We don't have a crystal ball, but all the warning signs are there. The red flags are there. And as I constantly feel, I'm running out of time. So I want to thank everyone that shared the stream tonight, everyone that joins me here for these streams. It's appreciated. Good to see everybody tonight. I appreciate the love. Again, everyone that keeps me in their prayers. For everyone that supports the stream, whether super chats or either buy a coffee, it's appreciated more than you know. The support, just appreciated more than you will ever know. Helps keep this whole thing going. And It's huge, man. Much love, my brother. Hope all is good with you and everyone out there that needs some prayers answered. I call upon the Most High to answer your prayers. Speak it into existence. And I want to thank all of you out there that remain positive to fight the good fight. For all of you, I love you. Yeah, thank you, Jeff. To the fullest. Let me check real quick here. One thing will take us out of here in some music is a couple shout outs. Make sure to follow me on X. Okay, thank you, Jim. Thank you, Lori. Again, much love. Thank you, Maverick, Marsha, Deanne, Me Puppet, Adam, Soul Foundry, and happy birthday again, brother. Thank you, Becky. Much love to all the pure bloods out there. Have pure love to all the pure bloods. Thank you, Susie, Joe, Kathy. And Eon, thank you for your relentless, always dropping those 7 coffees at the end of the stream. Man, thank you so much. Much love. Thank you, Handy.